Sky Howdy, and welcome back to another episode of World Bigfoot Radio. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another episode of World Bigfoot Central, and we have with us a first-time guest. I've been on her show, YOWIE Central, which, as you might guess, but from the name, comes from Australia. Harold's from the way down there, deep down under civilization, reputed to exist. Some of us think it's a myth. It might actually be there. It's called Australia. Show them your shirt, Sarah. She's got a great design. Look at that, YOWIE Central. And ta-da, I've got it too.
And we're twinning.
And we're twins on opposite sides of the planet. If you accept the planet is round, if not, we're on different edges of the plate. Anyway, one thing I'd like to bring up. Thank you so much to everybody that responded. When I had the Mountain Giants episode with MK Davis on, I told you guys that I was kind of getting messed with by YouTube and to circumvent their algorithms. And then last episode, I didn't mention that and everybody forgot about it. It's really important that you hit that like button and that you leave a comment after the video, like immediately after. If you can be there for when the video is premiering, that's optimal. But apparently the algorithms mainly pushes whatever happens to do good during its premiere time and within an hour afterwards. So the more interaction there is in that first crucial hour after the show airs, the better. I really appreciate that you guys can help me like this, because this is what's keeping the channel going. I can put out all the great content in the world, but if nobody's seeing it, it doesn't matter. And it's all because of the algorithms the way laid out now. It's all to interaction from you, the viewers. So if you want the shows to keep coming, then definitely do your part. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment. Make sure you're subscribed again. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscription. Hit the all button for notifications. That gives you at least a 30% chance they might actually notify you. If you really, really want to make sure that they notify you, binge watch. They don't know if you're in the room or not. Just put like 3 shows on in a row and let them play while you're working in your woodworking shop or whatever. And then the algorithms will go, oh, maybe they actually want to see this content, and they'll recommend it to you. Because algorithms. So anyway, it's kind of refreshing to be back down under in Australia, land of sunshine and sharks, mate. It's going to be fun having a guest from down under on the show again. And this one's a perler. We got Sarah Bignell from YOWIE Central on here. It's one of the loveliest Shaylas down there in the bush that you can ever find.
That accent needs work, mate.
I know it was terrible. I tried though. Hey, I watched Crocodile Dundee once.
That makes you an honorary Australian.
I got my version of it. Remember, he did his thing with a knife. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah.
That's not a mace. This is a mace.
Oh my God, that is a serious looking mace.
Yeah, you don't even have to hit anybody with it. They see that and they're like, nope, don't want any of that. I'm out of here. That's the riot control mace, the official
absolutely
Montana riot control mace. But anyway, getting back to Down Under, I got to be on Sarah's show last spring, and it was just such a riot. I had so much of a good time, and I was really hoping I get a chance to have her on my show with my really bad lighting. But you don't need to see me anyway. I'm ugly as sin. You want to see her. She's pretty. And we got her on
the show. Yeah, I can't see your face at all. It's just in shadow. Do you have a face?
No, if I do it just right, you can see the eye glow, though. See?
Oh, you can too.
Yeah. The Bigfoot taught me how to do that. So anyway. So Sarah, how did you get involved in all of this Bigfoot Down Under YOWIE stuff?
I've been obsessed with mysterious phenomena since I was a kid. And, you know, when I was little, it was all about fairies and goblins and trolls and ogres. But then as I got older, it was more vampires and werewolves. And then I saw a picture, a still shot of the Patterson Gimlin footage of Paddy. And that hooked me in. I've been obsessed since I was a kid, since I saw that. And then when I was a little bit, I didn't even know we had an Australian version until I was an adult, though. And
Damn.
had
You would have
no
had so
idea.
much fun as a kid if you would have known that.
Yeah, I had absolutely no idea that we had an Australian version until I was grown up. And then I just started, you know, researching, listening to shows, reading whatever I could get my hands on about it. And then a friend of mine invited me to co-host her local radio show, just a volunteer radio station. And she said, just bring something to talk about. It doesn't matter what it is. And I thought, well, the only thing that I can think of that might be of any interest that I've got some knowledge on is Yowies, is Bigfoot. So I went on, did the show with her, and she said, that was really cool. You should do your own show. And the local radio station was happy for me to start a weekly show based around Bigfoot and mysterious phenomena. So I started doing that, and I started posting the radio show online, and then it sort of morphed into a podcast. So the 57-minute radio show time slot was much harder to stick to. I found I was having these really good chats with people and then having to chop most of it out. So I left the radio station and I'm just doing it as a podcast now. And it's great. It's, you know, I absolutely love what I do. And I'm just as obsessed with it now as I was back then. And people who don't, I always find when I talk to people who aren't into the subject, I get really bored really quickly with the conversation. It's like, normies, man, normies aren't very interesting to me anymore.
Well, I got a friend that posted this meme to me the other day, and I just about fell off the chair laughing. And it said, "Oh, you're not into cryptids. Okay, well, that's a smart people hobby."
I saw one the other day. It was like, you don't believe in Bigfoot? Blocked. Blocked.
Blocked.
On swipe. What's the swipe? I'm not of the generations that have done Tinder and stuff, so I don't know if it's swipe left or swipe right, but swipe off, that's for sure.
Jerry Klein, I used to have him on my show, and he would get attacked a lot by the locals over there in Ohio. And he'd be like, well, same routine every morning. Get up, have a cup of coffee, check the social media messages on my latest video, ban, delete, repeat, ban, delete, repeat.
Yeah, I do a little bit of that in the YOWIE Central Facebook group as well. As soon as people start being obnoxious and rude and bullying, it's like and don't believe. It's like, why are you here? See you later. And if you're not grown up enough to behave respectfully and kindly towards people, I don't want you in there anyway.
So you have a Facebook group, and it is just called the YOWIE Central Facebook group?
Yeah, YOWIE Central Facebook group. I do ask that people agree to the rules and answer the questions, mainly because I want everyone to understand that we are super strict on no trolls. So if you're going to be not a nice person, I was about to swear then, but I better not on your show. If you're not going to be a very nice person, if you're going to be unkind, if you're going to be a bully, then don't bother, because you won't get in. Or if you do happen to slip through the gates, you won't last long.
Same thing with I actually have a Facebook group too, Montana Bigfoot Project. Come on over, join up, see all the latest Bigfoot news posted by me, several of my friends, and Kelly Shaw, who is also a mod on the group, and we call him Kelly the Merciless, because if you don't answer the questions trying to get in, he will ban you immediately. So and who am I to say no? I only got a pitiful almost 30,000 subs. He's got 110,000. So go to it. Kelly the Merciless. Do whatever you want.
He's doing.
Interestingly, I was also, for about a year, I was on TFR Live radio network, and I had the same problem. It's like sometimes you're having a really good conversation and you want it to go longer than the allotted time slot, minus the commercial breaks and whatnot. And the other thing is, especially with me, which is why I'm not World Bigfoot Radio anymore, I'm World Bigfoot Central, there's a million people out there talking about Bigfoot. I show the evidence. That's what my show is about. World Bigfoot Central shows you the evidence. And even somebody that's primarily doing an audio only format like Sarah, you might be surprised to find out she has evidence to show too that you can't show on an audio only show, can you? Huh? No, you can't.
No.
And that's why she's on here, because we're going to be talking about some of that. But before that, let's get into more of her background. We just found out how she had gotten involved in the whole broadcasting thing. Now, which podcast networks are you currently on?
On all the major podcast platforms. So
Okay.
yeah, all the major ones. I'm not on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, but I haven't added any videos yet. I'm in the process of teaching myself how to edit videos. I know that people are wanting videos, so
man, it's simple. 5 minutes later, you're Sam Peckinpah. You can do this easily. Come on.
I know, I'm really tech challenged. Though.
I'm still working on being Sergio Leone.
So I'll get there eventually. There will be a YouTube channel eventually in the not too distant future. I've just finished my website, which is really exciting. There's now a yowiecentral.com website where
nice.
Yep, looking really good. I'm very excited about it. That's only taken me 2 years.
It's more tech heavy than me. I had one that was almost done at one point, and then the tech guy that was working on it kind of had life disaster and couldn't work with it anymore. And I went, I have no idea what I'm doing. So that's how far that one got.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of sort of what happened with mine too. I started off with one website builder, graphic designer, and he became very difficult to work with. And in the end, I was like, I'm not actually sure I want you to be managing my site. I don't like you anymore. So I fired him and got Cade Moyer, who also does his own Believe podcast. And then once I started with him, it's then taken me a long time to put all of my material on that site. He built it beautifully. It's just taken me a long time, but It's done, ready. Yeah.
Well, if you're ever here in the States, let me formally extend the invitation to you to come on up here to the Rocky Mountains and see some of the really big biggies up here.
I would love to do that. I would seriously love to do that. What's the best time of year to go to Montana? So I can avoid really hot or really cold temperatures.
Yeah, there's only summer is the only time to be here. That's the tourist season. Parenthetically, Montana makes most of its income off tourism because we have these giant national parks here like Glacier and Yellowstone. And we make over $4 billion a year on tourism. But we have lots of mineral wealth too. We just aren't really extracting it. We're sitting on it. In case the U.S. collapses, we can declare ourselves our own independent country, and everybody in the state will be instantly a millionaire plus. So we're just waiting.
That sounds like a good scenario, actually.
Pay attention, Washington. We have backup plan B, C, and D up here. We don't need you. Yeah, Montana's a weird place. But yeah, there's a ridiculous amount of Bigfoot activity in the western part of Montana, which is all mountains and national parks and national forests, and it's really kind of like being a kid in a candy store. I had one of my friends visiting here from Nebraska. Nebraska's a Great Plains state. It's all flat. Most of it's cornfields and stuff, and yet he's managed to find Bigfoot there in that state. And then he comes here and spends a week, and every day he went to a different area in a different mountain and found Bigfoot structures. and he's like, it's way too easy around here. And I said, yeah, I know. It makes me look great, though. I mean, it's like you could have Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder out here, and they'd find tracks within half an hour. You'd be out there brailing the ground like, track, got one. So it's not,
Hey,
yeah.
look, and if I can find, and I'm not a field researcher, as I was telling you, I'm an interviewer rather than a field researcher. So when you said you can come on my show, but it's a show about evidence, so you're going to have to come up with some photos. And I'm like, oh, I'll have a look and see what I've got. But I ended up finding a few good things, and if I can find stuff, not being a field researcher, I think anybody could really. And you'll
Well,
see
well,
there are a few photos that are worth looking at.
every field researcher has to start somewhere. You don't automatically come out of the gate going, "I am God's answer to field researchers." It takes like a long time to build your way up from just being a hatchling to a guppy, and eventually you get to be the big fish in the pond if you keep at it long enough, and you have any kind of success. But as Master Poe said, you cannot find Bigfoot. You must get Bigfoot to find you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not, it's not what drives me going out and finding evidence. I know they exist and I don't really care if anybody believes it or not. So my own motivation is sharing people's stories and giving people a forum to do that. It's not really about finding evidence to prove that to other people, because for me personally, I believe, and I don't really care what other people believe. So being a field researcher isn't really my goal. As much as I love being out there, I love being out in the bush. We go camping a lot. I love being out there, but being a dedicated field researcher isn't really something that I'm aiming for.
I don't know if I'm that much of a field researcher, but I do know that whenever there's nice weather and I'm not out in the field, I get antsy and feel like I should be out in the field. So that might be an indicator that I'm strongly motivated to be out in the field all the time.
Yeah.
Channel funders, hint, hint, hint. It's mainly a money issue. Give me more money. I'll be out in the field all the time. That's the main thing that's holding me back.
Benevolent benefactors, don't we, who are just going to hand us cash so we can go out and make documentaries. And yeah.
Hey, I got a track record. I can pretty much find evidence every time I go out. The more I can afford to be out there, the more you're going to see. It's that simple.
World Bigfoot Central tours. Go and hang out with Duke for a week in the mountains.
I actually do. I have guests that come up every single summer and go out bigfooting with me. And some of them have channels and some of them do not. Some of them are very well-known Bigfoot researchers. Some of them are not. They're just people that watch my channel and go, "Hey, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods in the first week in July. What are you up to?" And I said, "Going out, taking you out to look for Bigfoot. That's what I'm up to."
Cool. So I need to aim for
and
July.
They all come away going, "Wow, Bigfoot."
Cool. That's great. So July next year.
I'm not one of these. I'm not an armchair researcher, and I prove it every summer. This summer, I've gotten at least 4 Bigfoot on video, just this summer.
Wow, 4.
One of them was broken down by MK Davis. One was broke down by MK Davis. One was broke down by Kelly Shaw from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. Actually, the second one was also broke down by him, because we had one watching us when we were over in Utah that he noticed when he was looking at the video. It was about 30 feet away from me on my left-hand side as I was walking out of this thicket. He's sitting there watching us. And then I looked at the video and went, "What about the one that's further to the right that's standing in the pine tree? He's much bigger and more obvious," and whatever. But yeah. So it's not like it's an impossible thing. The more you get out there and you know what you're doing, the better the chance you're going to be capturing them on video. But again, a lot of it comes down to them. It's not that we are tricky and we are super good. It's that if they don't want you to see them, you're not going to see them.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. They must like you because they know you're filming for sure. They must not mind that they're in your videos.
So this is just mind-bendingly weird because we were driving along this 30-mile long road on the very top, and I mean crest. Sometimes it's like this on both sides of the road, and there's enough width for the road, and that's it. And you're at about 10, 12,000 feet for like 30 miles. And we're just going past this one area. There was a stand aspen tree trees. It's fall. They're nice and bright yellow. And I have a bright yellow shirt on. And I said, let's do a camouflage video. I'll go stand in that grove of aspen trees with my brown pants and this bright yellow shirt, and you won't even see me. And then you start filming and I'll come walking out. And it was perfect. As you could see me a little bit when I started walking toward them. Then I just kind of vanished. And then you could see me a little bit more, and then I just kind of vanished. And then I came out of the aspen grove, and it just looked like a Bigfoot cloaking off and on. It was hilarious. And I come walking out of there, and I go, see, aspen camo. And I'm pointing my shirt. Well, little do we know that there's like 2 Bigfoot right there watching us.
Oh, wow.
We literally could have stopped anywhere along that 30 miles. We could have randomly stopped and went, there's an aspen grove. Let's film right here. But yet somehow when we're at this one, there's 2 of them watching us right there.
Yeah. They must have known. They would know you were filming. They would know what you're doing.
Aventine Creek to Reservation Ridge Sasquatch investigation. We stopped to film Duke walking out of an amazing tree line of fall colors because of many aspen trees' leaves were nearly the same bright color as Duke's shirt, and we thought that it was pretty cool how he blended in well in the autumn environment. After reviewing the footage, I noticed a large dark subject on the right-hand side of the frame that appears to have a face and is staring directly at the camera at the end of the video clip. Not saying this is Bigfoot in a Sasquatch sighting hotspot location. Perhaps a dark Bigfoot-shaped anomaly with a head and face with 2 forward-facing eyes. The only reason this sparked my interest is because not long before we filmed this footage, lower in the canyon, in the Aventine Creek area, we documented several nearly 18-inch long Bigfoot-shaped tracks in and around the creek. I have enlarged the section with interesting subject by 300% and put it through a couple of light filters to see if we can pull out more detail and see if the subject moves at all. Not sure what it is in the tree line. We will have to try and find this exact location again and see if there is anything there that seems to be a foot or 2 taller than 6-foot tall Duke and appears to be over double his width and girth too. This is an amazing area with several Sasquatch sightings reported on both sides of the canyon over many decades.
Yeah, and they wanted to photobomb us. Ha ha ha. Very funny, guys.
Sure.
That's how I get most of them in my videos. They're busy photobombing me. They're in the background or something, or I'm just doing a pan on a hillside. And there's one right there watching me as I go past. Yeah. So sneaky. Well, anyway, so how often do you actually get to go out and do anything?
It depends on the year and whether my husband's around. He's been away a bit in the last 6 months or so. So not much in the last 6 months. I do have them coming to my farm sometimes though, so I don't always have to go out looking for them. But during the summer we go out a lot. In fact, even in winter. Last year we did 2 really good road trips. We were away on the road going up through fantastic Yowie country. We did about 3 months traveling last year, which was fantastic.
See, you're in Queensland, right?
No, I'm in Victoria, down in the
Victoria. Oh, okay.
southeast, right on the border of Victoria and New South Wales.
Okay.
Right on the Murray River. So, and along the Murray River, there is forest, and that's you do find that's where some of those tracks that I sent you come from. Is along that stretch of, it's a big river, the Murray River, and some of it's there. But then as you go further north, I think they're everywhere. They're everywhere down here, but that you find sign of them, I think, a little bit more easily further up north in Queensland.
So anyway,
Yeah.
getting back to the Murray River and tracks that you found there, tell me about the tracks.
So one of the photos that I sent you is a track. We go to there's a stretch along the Murray River that has a few sandy beaches. Most of the river is the banks are really steep, and you've got to climb down to get into the water. There's a few spots though around some of the bends in the river where there's little sandy beaches, and we go camping where there are sandy beaches. And it's sort of sandy but a bit muddy in parts. And one of those tracks that I sent you, when we arrived at this camping spot, I went down and had a look, and there were footprints everywhere. Some of them were human. Some of them didn't look human to me. They were quite small though. So I suspect if it was Yowie footprint, that it was a juvenile. But then my dog ended up running through the whole lot and ruining them all before I could get my tape measure out.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't bring dogs with me.
Yeah. Well, see, we weren't researching. We were just camping for our fun rather than actually being out researching. Yeah, taking dogs is hopeless when you're trying to research, particularly mine. Mine have a knack for going and walking through everything that you're trying to take a photo of.
Right.
Yeah, but in the same spot, we have found lots of structures, and that was some of the other videos and pics that I sent you. We found lots of like slender trees, I guess you'd call them saplings, but bent over and wedged into things. It wasn't just like falling over dead fall because they got dry and they all died. There was one patch, and it wasn't that particularly widespread either. There was just this one patch, one area where all these trees were forming archways. Everywhere you could see, there were archways. Some of them were sort of woven in together and woven in between other trees. There's no way that could happen naturally. And then you've got this tree. There you go. So this tree goes up there and then is folded around to there, and that branch. So this one is folded over and locked behind this one. But then you've got also, hang on, I'll start a new video. Then you've got also this structure here. That didn't grow there, that one. As you can see, series of arches that some may be just natural fall, but I don't think all of them are. What's strange about this spot is if it was natural, you'd think it would be, the surrounding areas would be similar, but it seems to be concentrated, those archways seem to be concentrated in just this little area in here.
We found that before up here in my area A. We have one little side road that we literally call Arch Road, because as soon as you start going down it, there's an arch right there. That one's pinned down. The next,
yeah,
within eyesight from that one to the next one, you go to the next one, that one's driven into the ground. You go to the next one after it, pinned down again. And it's like, none of these are natural. And they're one right after the other along the side of the road. Who the hell is doing this, you know? That's up here. We have more than one cause of something like this. It could be disease. It could be snow load that's bending the tree over in the winter and snapping it. It could be a bear that's messing around playing with it that's bent it over. But if you've got it actually pinned down by something, that's pretty suspicious. And especially a lot of times you look at what's pinning it down, it may not even be from around there. It's like, where did this thing come from? And if it did come from around there, sometimes it's pinned down by something that's at, like, well, this tree's over here and this one's over here, and yet somehow this tree's pinning this one down. It couldn't have caught the tree falling to pin it. That's impossible, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one that we find that are the most obvious are the ones that are driven in, where the top of the tree is literally just driven into the ground to hold it in place. And we found some really big ones, 20 feet up to the top of the arch and the top of the trees driven into the ground. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to meet whoever made this.
No. Well, we found quite a few trees that hadn't grown there. Somebody had moved the tree to that point, and then woven it in between other trees. We also found a stump, and it was a meter or so high, and a leaf, a gum leaf, eucalyptus leaf, had been placed in the top of the tree. Now, there's no way a falling leaf could have embedded itself in the stringy timber like that. It couldn't have fallen like that. Something has wedged that leaf in the top of that as a marker, perhaps. Looks like this tree comes up here, but then is kind of threaded between an old. There's another one leaning up against it.
It's been threaded through these two.
Is that?
And leaning up against it.
We'll go and have a look at the bottom of that. But there's also this thing right in front of us.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if that, honey, can you see at the bottom of that tree?
It's been growing there.
It's been growing there, or nope.
No.
That wasn't growing there?
Nope. That's been like it's been placed on there.
It's kind of been placed on top, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Just right on the top of that.
Yeah, I could lift that off there now, but I won't.
No, just leave it there. But then there's
This
from there, that one on the
ground
ground.
there is woven up through here and resting on these two here. This one that's threaded through the middle.
Threaded down there. Mozzies it. Interesting.
There's two trees here that have been snapped off. And in the top of this one here, a leaf has been threaded through the...
Oh, through the kind of
It's been woven
the stringy
through
timber.
Through the stringy timber.
Do you think that could have fallen?
No. There's no way a leaf could have jammed itself down in there just by falling out of the sky. Not a hope in hell. It nearly looks like it's part of the timber. It's in that tight.
But
We have found many examples of that here. I have personally in Montana, where an old stump will be decorated. They just take like a whole bunch of twigs and stuff. They're sticking in the top of it like it's a planter, and they're making a flower decoration or something. And they got all kinds of sticks and stuff sticking out different sides of it and out of the top of it. And there's no way in hell it's natural.
yeah,
But why they're doing it, no idea.
yeah, is it does it have meaning as a directional thing, or is it communicating something else? Is it just for fun? Is it just artwork?
I don't know.
We were sort of nicknaming this little area like the YOWIE art gallery because there was so
That's
much.
kind of the impression I got too. I found one area, and the only reason I found it, I was kind of out in the clearing. This is up on Mount Sentinel right behind me. And there was a tree on the far side of it that was snapped about 9.5, 10 feet up. And I could see it from across the clearing. So I walked over to look at it. Like, there's a big tree like this wide, and this littler one right next to it is snapped. And you're like, okay, what the hell did that? Walk over and look at it. It's twist snapped. It's not just snapped. It's like, for sure a Bigfoot made this. Where is it pointing? Down into this ravine. Okay, walk down in the ravine. What do you find? 3 game trails coming together, and there's a carried in dead tree there, pine tree, with a lot of branches and brush and stuff. So you could sit right behind it and watch where all 3 of these game trails come together. Nice ambush location. And all around it on the hillsides, there's all these old tree stumps, have like at least a dozen in each one, sticks and stuff stuck into them. They're all decorated. So I'm like, what is this? Watch the babies time, and while they're playing, I might as well just sit here and ambush something in case it wanders through.
In case dinner walks past, yeah.
yeah, that was one of the bizarrest things that I found. I've seen these stumps occasionally like that, but this was like, I think if I remember right, and I got this on video, I stood in one spot and turned around 360, and I got like 7 or 8 of them, all just within visual range of the camera, just spinning in a circle. That was really weird. So yeah, they're doing the same thing down there that they're doing up here. And the other thing that I noticed is some of the lighter brush manipulations that you were filming there, where they're weaving things together. Looks really similar to what Tom Coburn at Trails in the Woods over in Germany is finding over in Germany. A lot of the woven together smaller brush stuff is what he's finding.
Right. Isn't that interesting? Actually, a friend of mine, Gary Lynn, who's up in Queensland, he found 2 palm trees that the fronds of the palm had literally been woven together.
Wow.
Yeah, there was no way it was natural. Absolutely no way it was natural. So isn't that interesting though? They're doing the same things over here that they're doing over there, and in Germany as well.
Yeah. That's, corroborating evidence that this isn't just some imaginary mythical thing, because these strange imaginary mythical things are doing the same thing on different continents, Europe, Australia, and the U.S. We're finding evidence of them doing the same thing. Yeah. These strange imaginary creatures, right?
Yeah. And even like one of the tracks I sent you wasn't up at the Murray River. That was further down near where I used to live near Castlemaine and still Victoria. That was it's an old dam called the Railway Dam, and near Tooten actually. And I went there one day, and the whole place the water was really low. It hadn't rained. We've got a bit of a drought going on. There's not a whole lot of water. There's not a whole lot of rain. The dam was really low, and so the muddy shore had footsteps everywhere. Now, a lot of those looked like human children footsteps, but there were a few that I thought, that doesn't actually look. It doesn't look like a human footprint shape. So I think I sent you one that also came from there that wasn't human, but it's the same similar sort of track from up on the river. So they're all over this state as well. In fact, I just interviewed someone who saw one in the same area in the Wombat State Forest. So very similar looking, similar appearances, similar behaviors. Sounds like they're doing very similar things. What about leaving gifts? I mean, I've been left marbles. In fact, that was one of the pictures that I sent you. A marble was left. It wasn't there before, and it was directly in the path that I take from where we live temporarily living in a trailer in a caravan on the farm out to the generator. This was exactly in the path there that I would have found it. Stuck in the mud and then just left there for me to find. There's no way there's no one else out here. There's no one else with marbles. That before we were living here, it's farmland. There's hardly anyone. No one's lived here for a long time before us. So where did the marbles come from? I think I've had 3 so far, 3 separate occasions found marbles here. So I think they're presents.
So next question, that one track, the track with a foot next to it. What's the backstory on that one?
Hang on, let me get the track with the foot is there's a few different ones that I sent you. The really clear, big, wide one I sent you with the very clear toes that's quite deep in the mud. That was on the banks of the river up here, the Murray River. The foot is my foot. I have a size 7.5, 8 foot. I think Australian and American sizing is the same. So it's
right.
It's a similar size, maybe even slightly small. It's slightly smaller than my foot. So but it doesn't look human. Like it's too wide. It's too wide, and there's no distinguishable kind of arch. It looks way more uniform, like a Sasquatch Yowie foot looks, but obviously it's quite small. So it has to be a juvenile footprint. But
right.
I found lots of other footprints around there, but that was the most distinct one. But they were all over the place. Some of them looked human, some of them didn't. But none of them were enormous, though. They were all small.
Did you get a picture of the track that you made the cast from?
Oh no! So I didn't make that cast. That a copy of the cast was given to me. That was found. Do you want me to show it? Let me show it here. So there we go. This is I think it was 14-inch, 13 or 14-inch track. It has 6 toes. I'm not sure if you can see that.
Well, that's weird.
It has 6 toes.
Yeah, that's a Nephilim track. Evil.
Well, I don't know. Is it or is it somebody suggested to me it might be inbreeding and just a genetic,
it could be.
You know.
Yeah, polydactylism caused by inbreeding. Also, 6 digits subscribe to the Nephilim. So we never find 6-digit Bigfoot tracks. Let's put it that way.
Right. So I don't know. I wasn't there when this track was cast.
Right.
It came from the lower Beechmont area in Queensland, which is semi-tropical rainforest mountains, just inland inland from the Gold Coast area. And it was an area where there was quite a lot of activity, vocalizations, hearing footsteps. The boys were leaving out sticks and marbles, and they would come back and they would be rearranged into different patterns. One of them had a marble that moved, but it moved to a different spot uphill, so there's no way it could have rolled uphill. So they cast this amazing track and then gave me a copy of it, which I'm really grateful for.
So maybe there are some six-toed mutant yowies running around down there, because you got a track cast of something with 6 toes.
Yeah. Maybe there are. I don't know. Occasionally they're reported 6-toed tracks. The majority are 5, but then we've had 4-toed tracks. Some people have even reported 3-toed tracks. So I don't know what they are, if it's the same being or if it's a different being.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, here 4-toed tracks are generally mountain giants, which also means they're generally gigantic. And they don't display any kind of a hallux at all. They don't have a big toe. It's just 4 toes that are pretty much all the same size, kind of curved across the front. Hard to tell which foot is which. And then the 3-toed tracks, those are Gugwe tracks. So, yeah, we got the 3-toed track things here too.
Right. So maybe are they all related? Are they all related to the same species, or are they completely different?
Yeah, they're different.
Different. So maybe we've got those too. I mean, we don't have. I'm trying to think of if I've heard any native Australian stories of something like a Gugwe or.
Probably not. They don't have to be on every continent necessarily, although there are some hints that they might have been in Europe, because what they used to describe as a bugbear sounds pretty much like the same damn thing as the Gugwes that we have over here in North America. But, it's not necessarily a one-for-one thing. Just because they're on some continent doesn't mean they're on the next continent over or something. Like you probably don't have much in the way of reports of Dogman, or what would it be in Australia? Dingo Bloke. How many Dingo Bloke reports do you have down there?
We do have some Dingo Man stories. In fact, I was talking to an original Australian elder the other day, and they were confirming that there are definitely stories about Dingo Man. And I've taken, how many reports have I taken personally? 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4. I've taken reports of Dogman, Dingo Man personally, but there are several others out there that people have taken as well. So nothing like the quantity that you guys get over there, but we do get some. One of the theories is that they are yowies, but that they just have a slightly different shaped face. They're not canid related. They're still Sasquatch yowie related. They just have a bit of a muzzle because of
the ones we got here are definitely canid related. They got hawks. They got the tall ears, a long snout, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just like putting a wolf's head on a human body, basically. It's pretty obvious what it is.
So is that
very creepy?
Is it a skinwalker? Is it a shapeshifter?
Yeah, is it a werewolf? Is it a skinwalker? Is it a shapeshifter? Is it a dogman? Is it cynocephaly? They all kind of look the same. So unless you go up and get its autograph and a DNA sample, you probably don't know for sure.
No, but are they all reported as having the hock, having that backwards facing
dogman? Yeah, pretty much. The ones that people report they don't have hawks are probably werewolves or misdiagnosed Gugwe reports. These Gugwes don't have hawks. They got legs like a human or a Bigfoot do. They're basically like giant baboons. They got a giant baboon leg, whatever. Doesn't have hawks like a dog, basically.
Yeah. So while we have reports here, not to the extent that you have them over there, what they are, whether they're canid, whether they're, there are certainly reports of devil dogs too, like as in not on 4-legged dogs, but with glowing red eyes. and
Yeah.
that's a different. It's not a bipedal creature. It's not. It's not on two legs. So it's something totally different. So it's hard to know. The stories are slightly different. But I do have a friend who snapped 3 pictures over his shoulder as he was running for it because something was rushing him, stalking him through the bush, and then started rushing at him through the bush, something large and heavy. And he got 3 pictures of a being that had 2 ears on the top of its head and a long snout. It was black. And he went back to the spot, and he found out, and he worked out that it was about 9 foot tall. So
too big to be somebody's stray dog.
Yeah. Wait, and it's not a kangaroo. It wasn't like a German Shepherd stuck up in a tree. It was something else altogether. So yeah, we've got them. It's just what they are. And
do you have those pictures?
I can send them to you. They're on YouTube.
If you got permission, send them. We'll include that in the show so people can see what you're talking about.
I'll ask him. You if you felt like chatting to him yourself, you could do that. He started YouTube.
Can always have him on later on. Got plenty of time for our guests here. But yeah, if you can get his permission to just show him, if people go, whoa, awesome, we got to get him on the show. Well, then I guess he's coming on the show. It's up to the viewers, whatever they have to say about it. And speaking of cryptid pictures, you got a couple of your own there that you sent over to me.
I sent you. Let me have a look at them. Get them up on my screen. So there's one cryptid picture that I sent you, which was from up here in the Gunbower State Forest, which is on the Victorian side of the Murray River. I was walking around that day doing a bit of field research, but I was by myself, and I felt really uneasy. I don't like going out by myself anyway, not because of yowies, but because of weirdo men, actually, to be honest. I'm way more afraid of men than I am of whatever else might be out there. And because we're not allowed to have guns or pepper spray or anything like that.
Bring your mace. Just bring your mace with you, and then you don't have to worry about it. See? Mace.
I don't think that's even legal here either. I don't think we're even allowed to get pepper spray if I've got that straight. But it makes women feel very vulnerable.
It's not legal to defend yourself in Australia. If someone wants to kill you, you have to let them.
Got to let them. Yeah, pretty much. So I felt uneasy. I didn't see this in the photo until quite some time later. I was looking back through the photos thinking, I wonder if I can find any yowies that might be in the pictures. And I was zooming in, and I saw this little head that it has the sun behind it. So it's illuminating this round, what kind of looks a bit fuzzy head and a little body. And it's sort of
hair. That's a good sign that it's not a tree trunk or something. When you got hair on it, generally it's not a log.
Yeah, because the light is shining through, and there's like this kind of halo over the top of the head, so it sort of looks like hair. And zooming in, it looks like there's a little being, whatever it is. You can't make out the facial features because it's in like a silhouette because the sun's behind it. And I don't know what it is, but it's something standing there looking at me. In the same picture, in the zoomed out picture, there's what I initially thought might have been lens flare, but it's a strange shape to be a lens flare as well. So I don't know what was going on with that. I don't know what it was, but I did not feel comfortable that day.
If you're out there by yourself, and you're not allowed to defend yourself.
Yeah. Another guy I know went out there. I lent him my thermal camera, and he went out to have a look out there. And he contacted me and said, "This place is scary." He's a pretty experienced person in the bush and very confident. And he said, I would not camp here at night. This is a really creepy place. And I was like, I was feeling like that day too. Not that I've been there at night by myself in that particular spot.
That's a good sign. When you get the really creepy vibe, yeah, that's a good place to go research.
Yeah. Just not by myself. I'm not brave enough to go by myself at night. I can handle it during the day, but not at night.
Right.
The other thing that I sent you. Look, I haven't shared it with anyone. You're the first person I've shared it with a couple of friends. I have not shared it publicly because I didn't know. I just wasn't sure what I was sending you. But it looks like to me, I've got a picture of my friend Gary Lynn. We're up in Queensland. We went on this epic 4-hour hike through down these ravines, down these canyons, and it was such a cool day. I loved it. But looking at, there's 3 big fallen trees across the gully, and then behind that, I've circled in yellow behind a tree what looks to me like a yowie peeking out from behind the tree. You can only see the right side of his head and shoulder. I don't know. What do you think of that picture?
I took a close look at it, and in my considered opinion, that's Yowie.
That's what I...
Keeping in mind that I haven't been to Australia and seen a Yowie with my naked eyes yet. It looks a lot like what we see up here that we call Sasquatch. So I'd say, yeah, that's a Yowie.
Yeah, I'm glad you corroborated what I was thinking, because I don't generally, as you know, I don't have that many cool pictures, but I don't share them very much because
even one is more than most people have. What do you mean I don't have that many?
Yeah,
even one is more than most people have.
I can't be bothered with all the people going, no, that's pareidolia. That's, I was like, oh, whatever. I don't bother sharing most of my stuff anyway. But I'm glad you can see what I can see in that picture.
Well, I've seen plenty of examples of the same thing in my research areas and in other people's videos too. Robin McCrae's got some good examples of that, where there's you can see the tree, everything's in focus. There's something peeking around the tree, but somehow they're fuzzy and semi-transparent. You can basically see through them, and you're like, what in the hell is that? It looks like 2 little fuzzy heads looking around the tree. You can see right through them, but you can see them. You can see that there's something there. It's just part of their weird abilities between what they can do with their hair and then their other, if you want to call it paranormal abilities that they use for blending and hiding from us. They say that they actually bend the light. So make of that what you will. But we've got videos of this kind of thing happening. I just recently reshowed one of the pictures that was taken at the ghost town of Coloma, where the person that was with me felt something watching her, turned around, snapped a picture. And when you look at the picture on her cell phone, there's a humanoid-shaped object there bending the light around it. Okay, How the hell does that happen with a cell phone picture? And then the other one, somebody up in Northeast Canada got, I believe it was in 2013, where there's this Bigfoot-shaped black object across the river, and he's filming it. And while he's filming it, the black color starts going in toward the center until it's just a round circle, and then it disappears completely, and it's all green. The object never moves. You can still see its outline. It just blended in perfectly with the bush. And I showed the video to Blaine Tyler, and he lightened it up and went, there's 2 of them sitting in the bush behind them. When you lighten it up enough, you can see them.
Well, I interviewed a guy who saw a yowie who was directly in front of him fade out from one shoulder to the other shoulder and disappear right in front of his eyes with it,
Yep.
in the space of a couple of meters away. He was really close.
The thing is, you hear these kind of reports, not frequently, but fairly often you'll hear something like this. And of course, nobody ever gets it on video. So at the point where you start getting it on video, it's a lot more convincing. Now, people are actually getting this on video. Another good one to go check out that people always talk about how sometimes it seems, especially field researchers, they'll go back and they'll look at their video and go, there's a Bigfoot like 15 feet away from me. How did I not see him when I was filming? I'm looking for them. He's 15 feet away from me. How did I not see them? Well, it's because they can hide themselves from you. They can't hide from your camera very well, but they can hide from you. And some of the natives have the idea that basically they just hypnotize you. So even though you can see them, you think you can't see them. They can't hypnotize your camera. Your camera's going to see them. And Swan Lake Bigfoot, he's been proving this because he likes to walk around these Bigfoot areas, and he's got a camera. He's filming himself. Wraparound sunglasses. And he just started noticing that occasionally there were things appearing in his sunglasses and the reflection in his sunglasses he didn't see when he was there. So he went back and looked at this video and slowed it down and zoomed in. They're Bigfoot faces. They're like right there next to him, looking at him. You can see the reflection in the sunglasses. He can't see him. The camera's picking up the reflection in the sunglasses. Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Just like we've been saying for years, there's the abject evidence of it.
Yeah. That's it's crazy. From what I understand, that Sunbow True Brother, with his conversations with the elder Sasquatch Camu shared that they refract light. That they can raise their electromagnetic frequency to such a high frequency that they're refracting light rather than reflecting it.
Yeah, they just bend it.
They bend it. Yeah. So that I can talk to you about if you want to use those pictures of there was a glyph, right? I made a pattern with sticks.
Oh yeah.
Just some random pattern. It's not, and I put it about 50 to 70 meters away from where we live on the farm. And I checked it and nothing changed initially, but then a few weeks later I checked it and another stick had been woven into that. And there's no way it could have happened naturally. It could not have blown like that. If the wind was strong enough to blow the stick there, it would have messed up the whole thing. It would have blown all the sticks around. So something had woven a stick through that pattern, and I think there's a female yowie who sometimes comes to the farm, and she's the one who left me the marbles, and the 3 marbles that I found. And I think it's her who left the glyph as well. There's also a picture of my little gifting tree, and I left 4 marbles and 2 plaits of my hair using hair from my hairbrush. And initially, nothing happened. Like 6 months they were there, nothing happened. And then all of a sudden I noticed one of the marbles had gone. And then not long after that, I go back there and they're all gone. The 2 locks of hair, the 2 plaits of hair, and all 4 marbles were gone. So I left my 2 hair braids with 4 marbles in here. And the two braids are there. 2 of those marbles are over there, but 1 marble is missing. This is my gifting tree. There's nothing on the ground outside that little hollow where I left them. They're not on the ground, unless they were taken by some kind of marsupial, some possum. I don't know.
Something moved around, whatever it was.
something has taken them and moved them elsewhere. I mean, one of the other things that I'd left.
All right. Like I said, go check out Sarah on YOWIE Central. Hopefully we can have her on again without as much problems with the not very good StreamYard as we had tonight. And until then, remember, do not hug the Yowies.
Thanks for having me, Duke. It's great to talk to you.
Everyone, safety first, last, and always. Pay it forward. Don't be mean to people if you don't have to be. Don't flip off the mountain giant. Don't poke Dogman with a stick. Don't punt the puck, would you? And for God's sake, whatever you do, do not hug the Wookiee.